And it looks like we're live. I'm Brent Humphreys, and he's Gage Bertovich, and this is Yelling from the Couch. Gage, how we doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's good to know that we're live, maybe, I think. Who knows how the opening looked, but how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm kind of thrown off by there was no countdown on this, and man, I mean, it's just, you never know from week to week how this thing's going to start out. Here we go.
We love it. We love it a lot.
Click record, start recording, and sometimes it's like, hey, here's a countdown. Today it's like, nope, just go on right now.
No time to prepare. Here we are.
Not at all. Well, here we are. We're back, and we're going to start our previews from here on out. We'll preview a division each week, and we'll start out with what we consider a division. I mean, it's an interesting division, but we really don't care about this division a whole lot. It's way out west. The NFC West is where we'll start. Of course, we're finishing with the best division in football at the end of this, and it's the AFC North, right?
But we got to wait a little bit before we get to that.
Got to wait a little bit. We got to build up to the main event. You start at you've got our opener here, and you got to work up to the main event. So this is going to be our opener for the preview, the NFC West. Gage, before we talk about that, I want to ask about your Pirates real quick because it's kind of interesting. 6 straight wins last week, 3 straight shutouts, and then 6 straight losses, including 3 straight shutouts. Man.
There was a little bit of hope during that win streak. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And now it's all gone. And you know what? We get O'Neal Cruz at the Home Run Derby and Paul Skeens for the All-Star game. That's what I'm looking forward to. After that, I'm ready for football season.
Yeah, they were the most interesting team in baseball for a little bit, and still kind of a little interesting there. With the 6 straight and the 6 straight, either way. But they keep things very entertaining, one way or another.
Sometimes.
Maybe I'm being a little,
They're just the first team to do that with 6 straight wins, 3 shutouts, and then lose 6 straight, being shut out 3 times. But that's.
How many times in history has a team shut out a team 3 straight games and then get shut out themselves 3 straight games in a row, back to back like that?
One time. One time. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates here this past week.
History made.
Yeah, not good history either.
No. And the Reds, they lost 4 in a row. Then they've won 2 in a row. Now they got the Rockies. They're still hanging on. If they could sweep the Rockies and be within a game at the All-Star break, I've still got hope. But we'll see.
Must be nice.
They also have a De La Cruz in the All-Star game, and Andrew Abbott pitching made the All-Star team. So, yay.
I am so ready for baseball season to be done. It is not fun.
I'm still hanging on right now, but who knows how long that's going to be. So we're here for the NFC West preview, and we'll start off last year. The Los Angeles Rams won the NFC West with a 10-7 record. The Seahawks also had 10-7. Went 10-7. The Rams were the only team to make the playoffs. There's been a lot of moves this year in this offseason. Some of the teams look a little bit different, especially the Seattle Seahawks look a lot different than what they have.
Yeah.
Gage, where you want to start at with this NFC West?
You mentioned the Rams, so I think we could just start there. You said a lot of moves being made. The one move I'm looking at, they signed, basically a specialist in the run game. D-tackle Poona Ford, 5'11", 315, and for a team that gave up 599 rushing yards in 2 games against the Eagles, they needed to do something to buff up that run defense. And I think this is a pretty solid way of doing that. But transitioning from that, that's not my position to watch. I'm going to be, looking a lot this season at the running back position for this team. Kyron Williams, he's trying to earn a contract extension. Become the first Rams running back to get one since Todd Gurley in that horrible contract that the Rams gave him. But they also have, Blake Corum. They drafted him in the third round of 2024. And they added rookie Jarquez Hunter, a 4.4 speed in the 40-yard dash. It's kind of interesting to watch. Is Kyron going to kind of phase out? Is he going to, take back over? I'm going to be excited to see what goes on there. And then I also have a breakout player for them. And I don't really know if you could consider it a breakout because he had really good games last year. But overall season breakout, I'm going to go to the wide receiver position and look at Jordan Whittington. He impressive in 3 starts, 6 catches for 62, 7 for 89, and 3 for 86. It's going to be interesting to see him, next to Puka without Cooper Kupp, see if he can kind of fill in that role. And do I think they'll be better in 2024? Yeah, I do. I know, like you said, they won the division, but I think that they're going to be even better this year. And I don't know why. You lose Cooper Kupp, you lose a couple other key pieces, but then you bring in some people. You brought in Devontae Adams as well. I think it's going to be a much better squad than last year. BetMGM has their win total at 9.5 wins, and I'm going to take the over on that as well.
Yeah, 9.5 wins for this team, kind of, I wouldn't say, revamped a little bit, but they've kind of revamped a little bit. Was very down last year. He was not that great at all. He had one of his probably his worst season as a NFL player. Puka Nacua, got suspended a game, but he done his thing most all year. And then they bring in Devontae Adams, and you really don't know what you're getting him with Devontae Adams because he was down last year. Don't know if that was due to him.
Riverside just loves kicking Brent out. Swear it's every week. Riverside just absolutely does not like having him in the studio. We'll see if he comes back here. Give it a little bit. I don't want to step on where he was at, but kind of what he was saying: rejuvenated, revitalized. It almost seems like this team's almost a completely different team than what they had last year. And like you were saying, Stafford did not have that good of a season last year. I mean, if you take a look at it, I'm pulling up the stats right now. 65 completion percentage, 3,700 yards, but only 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. One of his worst ratios of his career. Looking at the year before, a little less completion percentage, but more years, more touchdowns, less turnovers. The year before that, he was injured. And in his first year with the Rams in 2021, 48, almost 4,900 yards, 41 touchdowns, 17 picks. That's when they went on to the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like maybe Stafford's getting washed up a little bit. He has been in the league for 10, what this will be, I think, his 16th year, if I'm doing correct math. His first year was in 2009. So it's going to be interesting to see. But, it looks like Brent was trying to come back there. But I guess, you know what? I'll take over. Why not? Let's move on to the next one. The Seattle Seahawks. They finished last season tied with the Rams at 10-7. Did not go to the playoffs, however, because of that. So the key question, and it was a key question when they had Geno Smith last year, can the offensive line protect the now starting quarterback of Sam Darnold? Excuse me. Seattle's new starting quarterback ended with 11 sacks last year and completion percentage of 58 across his final 2 games. That's it. Just 2 games, 11 sacks, 58% completion rate. And his problem was being pressured. So, the defenses, they knew blitz, blitz, blitz. Get in Darnold's face, he's not going to be good. And, speaking of that, position to watch, still going to be Sam Darnold. He has an out with Seattle after his 1 year in his contract, $37.5 million. Which means that even if there is no quarterback competition for 2025, third-round pick Jalen Milroe that Seattle took could be the 2026 starter. But for now, I think they're going to slot him into certain packages, but you're not going to see him play a lot unless Darnold gets hurt or is just completely awful. Breakout player, we're going to go to the defensive side of the ball. Look at linebacker Tyrese Knight. The defense, they seemed primed for a breakout, ranking top 5 in opponent points per game, points per drive, and defensive expected points added per play from after their Week 10 bye last year. And this uptick coincided with Tyrese Nice's promotion. The 2024 fourth-round pick averaged 8.1 tackles a game as the snap count skyrocketed. Now, the question is, are they going to be better in 2024? I don't know. I can't definitively say yes. I can't definitively say no. Last year was Sam Darnold's first great year as a quarterback in the NFL, so it really depends. Defenses are going to know, hey, we got to add pressure to this guy. Oh, is he back? That is the question. Hey, he's back.
Gotta love Riverside. That's all I'm going to say. Gotta love it, man. Don't give you a countdown.
That's what I was saying. Riverside loves to kick.
Like the internet connection's strong. Got good
Riverside
speeds, everything. And Riverside just drops right out. Great. It's the only app that does this. Just crashes. It's like back when we were recording Spotify for podcasters. Like who is associated with Riverside. It would drop me out all the time on that too. And it's like StreamYard's about to get a call from me, you know. We're about to set up on it. Anyways.
The only good thing about that, at least we recorded, weren't live for that.
It's like sitting here talking about, yeah, man, the Rams is going to be looking wholly different next year. Revamped. And here I am just on this big old thing, and next thing you know, it's like, you're trying to connect. I'm like, I'm connected. Anyways. Puka Nacua last year had a pretty good season. He was hurt a few times. Like I think that's the thing with him. He gets hurt a little bit. You know, he's kind of injury prone a little bit, but he stays healthy. Man, he's just about uncoverable out there. And Cooper Kupp last year was just awful. One of his worst seasons he's ever had as a pro. I mean, probably his worst season he's ever had. So they let him go. And then they bring in Devontae Adams, who, he wasn't all that great last year. He had a few bright spot games. Was it because of the system he was in? I don't know. The Rams feel like they could probably do something with him. You mentioned on the defense, Poona Ford, the defensive tackle that they brought in to kind of maybe take Aaron Donald's place a little bit, kind of, go into that spot. I mean, you're not going to replace him, of course, but kind of help your defense out a little bit. You've got Jared Verse over there. And then Stafford. This could be Stafford's last year with the Rams, maybe. I mean, he's getting up there. There are talks like he might not come back this year. He decided to come back. And like you said, Kyron Williams, he's out there playing the running back, and you got Blake Corum. So, I mean, they got some weapons out there. So the Rams should be, I don't know, what was the over-under on them? Was it 9.5?
For the Rams, we are looking at 9.5.
I think that they can win 11 games this year. I'm with you. I think that they're going to be better than they was last year. Last year, I think they started out pretty slow, and that was, because Nacua and Kupp was hurt. But when they came back, Nacua was pretty good, except for when he lost his temper in one game. But still, I mean, it happens. But I think the Rams are going to win this division once again this year. So, spoiler alert, I'm already calling it. 11 wins is going to get you the NFC West this year. That's what I'm thinking. And so then we'll go to the next team. Let's talk the Seattle Seahawks, the revamped Seattle Seahawks. Gage, they let go of Geno. They trade DK away to a certain team in the AFC North. They let Tyler Lockett go, and they bring in Sam Darnold. What do we think about Seattle's offseason and what they're looking like for this season coming up?
Well, it's very odd. You wouldn't think you get rid of Geno and you get rid of DK, and who do you bring in? Like you said, Sam Darnold and Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Yes.
As well? That's definitely something. They definitely did a thing. I'm not sure if it's good or not, but the one thing we saw last year, especially the last 2 games with Sam Darnold, was if the defense gives him pressure, he's not going to be successful. Last 2 games last year, he had 11 sacks and a 58% completion percent. That's not good. I don't care how you look at it. That is not good at all. So in Seattle, they have a leaky offensive line. That, I think, has to be the number one priority for their new offensive coordinator, Kubiak, and their offensive line coach. There's still a competition going on for center and right guard. So it's going to be like, you got to figure out what's the strongest one. How are we going to protect Darnold? And is he going to be able to see the pressure coming? Because it does not feel like he was able to do that last year, especially towards the end. And he's also my position to watch. Not just Darnold, but just the quarterback position in general. Luckily for Seattle, they have an out from his contract. After 1 year, $37.5 million. Even if there's no quarterback competition in 2025, which I highly doubt there will be, they did draft someone in the 3rd round. Maybe a little Jalen Milroe action comes into this year. Maybe he sits the entire year and is the starter for 26. I don't know. But I could see them giving him certain packages, and maybe as the time or as the season progresses, if Darnold's not doing what he did at the beginning of last year, maybe we see a little bit more Milroe action. But it's going to be hard to tell. Don't really know how he's been able to perform through training camp. But according to their offensive coordinator, quote, you see him in there at 4:30 in the morning. Yay, more power to you, man, because I'm dead asleep at 4:30 in the morning. So, hey, good on you. We're going to go to the defensive side. My breakout player for them, linebacker Tyrese Knight. Their defense as a whole seems very primed for a breakout. After their Week 10 bye last year, they were top 5 in opponent points per game, points per drive, and defensive expected points added per play. This uptick coincided with the promotion of Tyrese Knight to the starter. It was a 2024 4th-round pick, averaged 8.1 tackles a game as his snap count skyrocketed. Now, that number may seem a little bit low, but that's because he wasn't a starter for the first 9 weeks of the season as well. And then the question you have to ask is, are they going to be better in 2024? It's going to be hard to know. I can't say yes, I can't say no. It's going to depend on if Sam Darnold can play like he did at the first half of the season and if they can keep him clean. Excuse me. They're built on a defense that can stop anyone and a run game that should be improved, I would assume. Kubiak is a great run coordinator, and they also added a fullback, which, what teams do that nowadays? No one, really. So if they keep Darnold clean, he's going to replace Geno. Hopefully he returns to his prime 24 form. But this was his first year as a good quarterback in the league. So which version of Sam Darnold are you going to get? Was he a product of the Minnesota system, or did he just need a chance with a decent team? The Rams MGM win total is set at 9.5. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Let's look at the Seahawks. They're set at 8.5. And I'm going to take the under on that, but I think they'll end with 8 wins. So not far under the total, but I think 8.5.
Yeah, so they've lost.
We're going to take the under.
We mentioned Tyler Lockett's out. DK Metcalf is out. DJ Metcalf may be out too. I'm not sure. But and then Geno Smith's gone to Vegas to be with the old Seattle coach, Pete Carroll. And then you bring in Sam Darnold, who, like you said, the first half of last year looked amazing. Like, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, okay, we see why this guy got drafted number 3. And then the end of the season comes along. You're like, oh, we see why he was saying he was seeing ghosts. He wasn't seeing nothing last year at the end of the season except for lineman right in his face. I mean, you dial up pressure, or linebacker comes up in there, and they were all over him. He had, like, any kind of pressure on him, he froze up and just couldn't do anything. Like, he looked horrible once you put pressure on him.
Yeah.
So has he learned from that, or is it the same old with him? time will tell. And then you've got Jackson Smith and Jigba out there for wide receiver. He was really great last year with Geno. He's going to be slotted into the number one guy now. And then you bring in Cooper Kupp from the Rams, who we talked about earlier, had a very down season with the Rams. Will he be improved this year with Seattle? Fresh start for him? I don't know. We'll see. He's getting older. He's, like we said, he's injury prone. All of his career, he's been injured, except for like the 2021 season. Thanks a lot for that. But it's going to be weird to see like all these guys up in Seattle playing. It's going to be a different look. Will that make them any better? I don't know. Kenneth Walker at running back, he's the same going back there. They drafted tight end out of Miami, Arroyo, to play tight end up there. And then defensively, this isn't the Legion of Boom over there. So 8.5 is their win total for this season. Man, that's about what I would put it at, because I would say either 8 or 9 wins for them. And I really don't know, because you don't know what kind of Sam Darnold you're going to get. It's a tough division looking at it. Surprisingly, we kind of we really don't care about this division, but we're AFC North guys. But if you look at it, this is a competitive division right here, and I think it's going to be a competitive division once again this season. So Seattle, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give them 8 wins as well. I think they're going to hit the under on this. I think Sam Darnold's going to have trouble. People's going to figure out if we just pressure this guy. And then if you bring in Jalen Milroe, he's a dual threat guy. He may give him a little bit of a spark, but I don't think in his first season he's going to be anything that gives him more than that amount of wins. I think Jalen Milroe ends up being the starting quarterback by the end of the season, but give me Seattle with 8 wins this year. That's what I'm doing. And so we're halfway done with that division right now, and let's go with, I'm going to save the most interesting team for last, the team that we talked about every we'll talk about it in a little bit. But let's go to your Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. I'm pretty sure every time last year we previewed the Arizona game, we're like, Marvin Harrison Jr., man, he's going to have a breakout game this year. He was a stud in college, and this is it. This is the week. And he never really seemed like he had that breakout game last year. Gage, what do we think about the old Arizona Cardinals out there?
It's funny to me that you said, we'll save the interesting one for last. To me, the Cardinals are my most interesting team, at least for this division. The key question for them is, how much better is this defense? Their defense was pretty good last year. Overall, they quietly finished, offensive-wise, top 12 in both points scored and total yards with an average defense. However, their draft might have fixed that. Their first 5 picks were defense. Defensive tackle Walter Nolan, cornerback Will Johnson, both are expected to be day one starters. They also, in free agency, added Dalvin Tomlinson for the defensive tackle, Calais Campbell on defensive tackle, who knew he was still even in the league, and edge rusher Josh Sweat. This defense seems, to be maybe a top 5 defense in the league. Position to watch, again, just like how I said for Seattle, I'm going to go to the quarterback position. Kyler Murray, and all accounts, he plans to run the ball more, which I don't know if that's a good idea, especially with a knee injury that, plagued him all of last year. Excuse me. But last year, he averaged a career high in a quarterback rating and passing success and ran nearly half as many yards as his 2020 season. 133 attempts, 819 yards, and 11 touchdowns in 2020. Slashed that in half last year. And that was when, Kyler Murray looks like the next big thing. Gets back to that level, exploits the talents of the player that will cover, for my breakout. Murray should be back in the Pro Bowl conversation. Now, I mentioned the breakout. We talked about him. Marvin Harrison Jr. What is this guy doing? he has to have a breakout. I know, like you said, we said that all of last year, but this has to be it. Year two, the offense seems to be coming together. You just signed possibly the best tight end in the league to a 4-year contract extension, Trey McBride. You still have James Conner in at the running back. This has to be the year. He had flashes as a rookie, only had 100-plus receiving yards in twice, but was held to fewer than 50 yards in 10 games. That's not good enough for being a number 4 pick in a draft. He was labeled as generational. He is the son of one of the, probably a top 10, top 15 wide receiver of all time, Marvin Harrison. The wide receiver since then has added weight, should have improved chemistry with Kyler Murray, you would hope. And last year he was targeted on just 21.5% of his routes, and that was tied for 87th among all qualifying wide receivers. Offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, expect him to have Kyler force the ball to Marvin Harrison, his number 1 receiver. Now, are they better this year than they were last year? I'm going to say yes. I would consider they aced this offseason. They didn't sign too many big names, but their draft was phenomenal. They have a lot of talent. The defense got better. This is probably the most talented roster Arizona has had since 2015. I think that was the season Carson Palmer led them to a 13-3 finish, I think. That's not realistic for this season, but I say a 10-win season is within reach. And yeah, so with that being said, their MGM win total 8.5. I'm going to take the over on that. I think they hit double digits. They probably even win the division this year, or at least it's close with the team that we haven't covered yet.
Well, yeah, so I'm back again. It dropped out once again right in the middle of Gage's preview of the Cardinals there. It's cool, whatever. Yeah, that's great. I loved it. I was like, oh, it's cool. Hey, I'm listening. He's talking about, Marvin Harrison Jr. needing to be in a breakout, and all of a sudden, I'm out. Anyways, so Marvin Harrison Jr., every week, I remember, every time we previewed an Arizona game, either me or you were like, this is it right here. This is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s breakout game. And like you said, it never happened. Yep. So for you to have him as the breakout player for the year is hilarious to me because we predicted every time, man, it's going to be a breakout. I think he does break out this year. I think he has a better season than he did last year. And last year, by no means, he did not have a bad year for a rookie season. I mean, it really wasn't that bad. But he wasn't the number 1 target on that team last year. That was Trey McBride, who, like you said, he may be the best tight end in the league, but he's maybe one of the worst at getting in the end zone. The guy never scores touchdowns, but he gets all kinds of yards. He's awesome. But as far as punching it in, I mean, what did he end up with? 1, 2 touchdowns last year? His first touchdown came in week 14 or 15. I mean, it was really late in the season when he got his touchdown.
His first touchdown came when he recovered the fumble recovery in the end zone. He only had 2 receiving touchdowns. He also added on a rushing touchdown onto that.
Even better right there. His first touchdown comes as a recovered fumble in the end zone. That is great. We were talking about the fullback position earlier. Who signs the fullback, and what I thought was the Ravens. They're the only team that uses a fullback. But now, the Rams, was the Rams that signed one or Seattle?
Seattle.
Seattle signed one. Anyways, I just thought of that. I was like, yeah, the Ravens. They're the only team that even has a fullback, I'm pretty sure, on the roster anymore. Anyways, the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. We also talked last year about, man, Call of Duty's coming out. The new Call of Duty's coming out. When it comes out, Kyler Murray's going to be just, he's not going to care. He's going to be worried about Call of Duty. He's not going to study his playbook and all this. And it really didn't happen. I mean, he really still played well even after Call of Duty came out. Maybe he decided, I can wait till the offseason. I can get my Call of Duty out in the offseason. I don't know, but he had a pretty good season last year. He led him to 8-9. I think Gannon, the coach, is a pretty decent coach. I mean, the 2 years before that, with Murray as quarterback, they were 4-13. Murray's got to stay healthy, though. That's the thing there. You said they signed Calais Campbell, who I thought retired 3 years ago. I don't know. But he seems to pop up every so often. You're like, oh, yeah, Calais Campbell, who's been playing since the mid-2000s, still in the league, playing defense.
He has
Getting
one
every
good
play.
each year, and everyone's like, oh, my God, this guy's still around.
Yeah. And now I know what ahead of time. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I knew that. We talked about him in the preview, Calais Campbell. But I think that the Cardinals actually have a decent, favorable schedule this season. They had 8 wins last year, and they weren't last in the division last season. They were third. I think this year, I don't know if they can win the division because I've got the Rams winning 11, and I've got the Rams winning with 11. But I think Arizona can win 10 games this season. I like Arizona to hit their over. They're 8.5 for their over-under, right?
Yes.
Give me the over. Give me the over on that one. I like Arizona to win 10 games this season. Kyler Murray to have a good season. And, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. is having a breakout year. He's gonna have 1,000 yards receiving this year. About 8 touchdowns. It's going to be a good season for Arizona. I think they're knocking on the door of the wild card. I don't know if they get in the playoffs because last year 10 wins didn't get Seattle into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And after they had 10 wins, they're like, let's just blow it up. Let's get rid of – we need Sam Darnold. So they went out and got Sam Darnold. But, yeah, Arizona, 10 wins.
I hope Marvin Harrison has like 150 yards in his first game, and we're like, see, we were right. And then he goes and no more 100-yard games the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's probably most likely what's going to happen. That'd be my guess right there. Because even in college, it may be a Marvin Harrison thing. Because, I mean, even in college, I was like, man, Kyle McCord must be horrible because he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, and he can't get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., and Marvin Harrison Jr. is a stud out there. And then, like, he would make some, like, awesome play. And he'd be like, see, that's why. That's why. And then everybody else was like, yeah, man, Kyle McCord stinks. We need to get rid of him. So he ended up transferring. And Marvin Harrison still didn't have a breakout game in the NFL. So I don't know. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it is Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know.
Well, let's just set one thing straight. Kyle McCord was awful.
He was awful, but once he went to Syracuse, he put up a lot of numbers in Syracuse. But who was he playing?
Yeah.
Who was he playing? No, I mean I know your team's in the ACC, but the ACC's football, it's not the best football right there.
No, but Kyle McCord against Pitt last year. Well, what was it? Like 2 pick sixes, 5 or 6 picks total. So, yeah.
Yeah, he put up a lot of numbers, but he put up a lot of bad numbers too. So yeah, that's yeah. Did Kyle McCord go anywhere? I don't remember. I haven't heard anything. I'm pretty sure he's went somewhere, but
I want to say Philly.
Oh, he's definitely not playing.
Yeah, the Eagles.
Yeah, he's not playing then.
No, not at all. Unless Jalen Hurts gets hurt, and I don't even know who the second string is, but unless that guy goes down too.
Is it Tanner McKee?
He's also there. I don't know if he's second string, but he's there.
He's got to be second string, I would guess. Kenny Pickett's out.
Yeah. I would like to say I feel bad for Kenny, but I don't.
No, I don't. I don't feel bad for him. He's going to be starting. He's going to be the starting quarterback beginning of the season.
Oh, it's not even. So it goes Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Kyle McCord.
I forgot they got DTR from the Browns. Nice.
Yeah. McCord, you're cut, buddy. Sorry about it.
Yeah. Welcome to the practice squad, pal. And that brings us to, let's see, we went over the Rams. We went over the Seahawks. We went over the Cardinals. Is there any other team left out there? Oh.
I don't know, because it doesn't really seem it. It only seemed like 3 teams were actually competitive last year.
Yeah, it does seem like that. It seems like, but there's always 4 in a division, though. That's what's weird. Man, who? I know. It was one of the teams from the Bay Area. Does Oakland have a team? No, Oakland doesn't have a team.
No.
No, they don't have a team anymore. It's San Francisco. Does San Francisco have a team?
Dude, I know they used to, but it didn't feel like they did last year.
It didn't feel like they did last year. But if you ask a Niners fan, they're still living in the 80s. Like they've won all these Super Bowls. So, yeah, that's the Niners. We're at the Niners preview part of this portion of this podcast. And last year, look, all right, so we're mocking the Niners right now. Last year on this podcast, every week, me and Gage was like, this roster from top to bottom is stacked offensively and defensively. We heap praise every week, and every week the Niners let us down. So, yeah we're going to act like there's no Niners team because they didn't show up last year. So we were kind of like not making them show up to this preview. Gage, the Niners have made some interesting moves this offseason, I think.
Yeah.
What do we think about the old Niners and the preview for them this year?
So for a team that, they just won the Super Bowl the year before, big expectations last year, they go out and finish a whopping 6-11. And they were tied for 13th in the league in offensive points scored per game at 22.9. That was second in the division, right behind the Arizona Cardinals.
We forgot to mention that, yeah.
However, their defense, 29th in points allowed per game at 25.7. That was the worst in the division. You want to talk about the offseason moves. I don't know where they're getting this money from. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know. You re-sign George Kittle, 4-year contract. And it's like, okay. You re-sign Fred Warner, 3-year contract. Then you re-sign your quarterback of the future, Brock Purdy, to a 5-year contract. And you want to talk about fullbacks? They also re-signed Kyle Juszczyk to a contract as well after he visited Pittsburgh, and I thought we were going to sign him. Let's see. Who else did they sign? They signed, defensive back Jason Pinnock, who, he's had good times in his career. Wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson. After losing Deebo Samuel to Washington, maybe it's an okay substitute for now. Maybe not. I highly doubt it. And now, just in case they need a backup quarterback because, all the injuries they had last year, Mac Jones is also a San Francisco 49er right now. But all the talk on the offense was okay last year. They had a lot of injuries, especially at the running back position. McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, Isaac Guerrero. There's, I think, one other guy I'm forgetting about, but it feels like they went through 8 running backs in the season. I think Kyle Juszczyk was hurt for a little bit too, and that guy's like never hurt. But for, the key question for the Niners, can this defense return to their dominating form? They have Robert Saleh, and they finished 8th in the NFL in yards allowed, which seems phenomenal. But when you do what I said, you finish 29th in points allowed. What happens here? I'm not too sure. But it seems like it's not a complete defensive problem. It's awful special teams. When, the special teams lets the other team go down to the 10-yard line, all they need is 10 yards and score a touchdown. Well, heck, that's easy enough. And their defense struggled to stop the run, and they rarely forced a turnover. From weeks 9 to 18, they only had 2. Only 2 turnovers, that's not going to help you win games. And like I mentioned, series of injuries and an inexperienced coordinator didn't help at all. So maybe this was just a bump in the road. Maybe they returned to form. But that's going to be interesting to see. Now, they did open the draft, 5 straight defensive players drafted. It's going to be interesting to see who slides in as number 1s and who, takes the back seat, maybe a number 2, number 3, maybe a practice squad guy. I mentioned, receiver, DeMarcus Robinson. The receiver position is my position to watch. I mentioned Deebo Samuel. He's in Washington. He's gone. So who's going to step up? Brandon Ayuk isn't going to be ready for training season. DeMarcus Robinson might be suspended due to, illegal substance use. So it's who's going to be? Is it going to be Jawan Jennings, who we've seen when he, gets first team reps, he goes off. He was their most productive receiver in 2024. Or is it going to be the guy that they drafted last year in Ricky Pearsall? Great story. The guy gets shot and then is able to come back here, to play an NFL game sooner than what Michael Thomas can come back from, turf toe. I remember mentioning that last year, and I thought that was funny. They also, another guy that I want to say was an undrafted free agent last year, Jacob Cowing. Not a lot of production, but he's been praised by Shanahan all throughout OTAs. And then a guy that they drafted this year in the 4th round, Jordan Watkins. Brock Purdy out there saying, quote, definitely a rookie that's popped out for everybody. So maybe they got a decent receiving core. I just don't see it happening right away. Go to my breakout player. A little bit different. Linebacker, we're going to be looking at D. Winters. Coach Salah saying he's, very articulate on his quote. Quote, he's been impressive. That's a very good quote from a coach. At least you know that you haven't been sucking. He's one of the league's fastest linebackers, and they spent an early 3rd round pick for him. He's a 24-year-old, and he has been outstanding in OTAs. Now, are they better this year than in 2024? You almost have to be. Or else something's going to happen. The fan base might burn the stadium down. They might ask to trade Brock Purdy. We don't really know. However, the injury risks are out there. We saw it all of last year, especially for their old superstars. Left tackle Trent Williams, he's 37. Christian McCaffrey is now 29, which is crazy. And like any other NFL team, health matters. You got to be able to rest your guys and have people that can come in to spell out your starters. So it's going to be interesting to see. Their win total, BetMGM has them at 10.5. That's a big step from 6-11 last year, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to take the over, take the under. I'm going to take the under in this one. I think maybe 8 or 9 wins, maybe 10 if they're lucky, but I don't see them hitting 11 or more.
Yeah, so you mentioned on the defensive side, I mean, they lost 8 starters from last year. And one of them on the defensive side was Dre Greenlaw, who, if you ask Niners fans, was a big fan favorite within them. And another on the offensive side, like you said, they traded away Debo to the Commanders for like a 3rd round pick or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've talked to some Niners fans, and they were never really big on Debo. A lot of them didn't like Debo. I mean, he, wide receiver, he could play running back. He's versatile. He was injury prone. He could have done a lot more with what he had, and they thought he was lazy. So Niners fans really wasn't too upset with losing Samuel. What they were really upset with was losing Dre Greenlaw. And you signed Brock Purdy to a big monster deal this offseason, which wasn't – I mean, they didn't spend as much as, what other quarterbacks are getting, but they still spent quite a bit on Brock Purdy, who it's still debatable on whether he's the future or not for that team. I don't really know if he's a top-tier quarterback, top 10 quarterback, maybe. I'm not sure. Then you've got McCaffrey, who is injury-prone. At 29 years old, like you said, that's crazy to think. Running backs don't go past 30. And with all of his injuries, I don't know. Jordan Mason, he was injured last year too. Then you've got Brandon Ayuk, who you gave a big contract to at the beginning of last season. You paid him, and then he's hurt. He's not going to be available at the beginning of this season. So you got Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall, like you said, great story last year. Shot in the chest, came back, played good for the Niners as the number 2-3 guy. He may have to be the number 2 guy this year. Still got George Kittle, who also, there's a theme here with these Niners, injury prone. Trent Williams on the line, like you said, 37 years old. Does he have much left over there to block for Purdy? I don't know. And then defensively, I don't. They got Robert Saleh back as the defensive coordinator. I think they'll be improved on the defense because he's a lot better coordinator than he was a head coach.
Yeah.
Obviously, but we'll see what it is for the Niners. Did you say 10.5 was the over/under for them this season for the win total?
Yep.
10.5. I'm taking the under. I'm thinking 9 wins for them this year. I think that they're going to be improved from last year, which isn't saying much. It's a competitive division. They could go like 3-3 in this division right here. I don't know, but I think that they're going to go 9 wins. Niners. 9 wins. 9-win Niners. The 9-win Niners this year. Kyle Shanahan, is he still the evil genius? If he gets 9 wins, are they going to be ready to run him out of town? I don't know.
I don't know, but I think we need a T-shirt that says 9-win Niners.
9-win Niners. That sounds great. I think we should do that and give it to them Niner fans.
The first merch drop of Yelling from the Couch. 9-win Niners.
Has nothing to do with either of our teams. It's just
Nope.
Poking at the Niners. The 9-win Niners. Oh, man. But, yeah, there's your AFC – oh, no. NFC West preview for 2025. So we're agreeing you may be picking the Cardinals to win. I've got the Rams win this division with 11 wins.
Yeah, and I'd take the Cardinals winning with 11 wins as well.
I've got the Cardinals at 10 wins, possible wild card. Then I got the Niners at the 9-win Niners, and then the 7 or 8 win Seahawks. 7-win Seahawks. That's pretty good too.
But I still think Marvin Harrison, breakout player of the year. Here we go.
Yeah. Who's our breakout player for this division? I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm also going Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's got to be the breakout player of the year. The MVP of the division.
Offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year. Who we got?
Marvin Harrison Jr. No.
Puka Nacua is the offensive player of the year in the division.
Ooh, can't say DK Metcalf. Give me Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Ooh, I like it. Let's see. Defensive player of the year.
I know I mentioned him earlier. I'll take Poona Ford. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, man. Let's see.
I feel like there's a really obvious one, but I didn't want to take him.
For which team? Fred Warner?
Yeah.
I'll go Fred Warner then, defensive player of the year. He got the big contract. Well, I don't know. He's not proving anything now. He's already got paid. See, MVP, it's got to be a quarterback probably because it's always a quarterback. Who's your MVP of the division?
If the Cardinals win the division, then Kyler. Yeah.
Well, then I guess I'll go with Sam Darnold. He's your MVP for the division.
Oh, God. No.
Matthew Stafford. I'll go with Matthew Stafford.
Sam Darnold.
7-win Sam. I mean, here we go. So there's your NFC West. There's your division winners, your preview, your awards, all that. Go right now and wherever you bet at, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel. Place those bets right now. Marvin Harrison Jr.
We are not liable, though, for any money that you lose.
No. We're not. It's all for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, of course.
But,
Nor do we condone gambling on this show.
No, it's just all for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, entertainment purposes only. Wonder what Marvin Harrison Jr. MVP odds are right now.
Ooh. You know what? He probably doesn't even have
Even
MVP.
better.
Let's see here. Not MVP, but Offensive Player of the Year at plus 5,000.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, wait, what do we got here? This is from August. I don't think that. Huh. I'll tell you, some guy put a crazy bet back in August. So this would have been for last season. How many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 300,000 for Marvin Harrison to win MVP last year.
So you're saying there's another person out there that has the faith in Marvin Harrison Jr. that we do on this podcast.
Yes.
They thought he was really going to break out.
Now, according to Google AI, which who knows how right this is, betting odds for the 2025 NFL MVP award are available, but wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. is considered a long shot at plus 50,000.
50,000. I mean, man, you put $1 on that. Whoa. It's happening. I'm calling it right now. No, I'm not. I'm not calling it. But,
Yeah, you place that bet and let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable putting $1 down on it. Sure, why not?
I think you can make better use of your dollar by mailing it to me, and I will find something to do with it.
Mailing it to you in a 52 cent or whatever it is stamp, 55-cent stamp right now. Yeah, why not? Well, so there's your NFC West preview, and next week we'll go to the AFC West. Stay out west, young man, and we'll go with the AFC West. Gage, one more thing here before we get off of this podcast in this episode. Your 4th of July last week. Did you watch any of the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contests?
No, because I was working. But, man, a lot of hot dogs were ate. Let's just say that.
70 and a half hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes is insanity to me.
I would throw up after, 5.
I was sitting there thinking, how many hot dogs and buns could I eat in 10 minutes? Probably 3. I mean, I'm slow at eating. I couldn't sit there and just, and the wet buns that they put it in the water and it's all over their face and it's just,
We're going to need a yelling from the couch hot dog eating contest and get Joey on here for it too.
Oh, man. If we did that, I'm probably finishing last place because I'm going to be like, ugh. I can't do the buns too, man. It's
The over-under is 5.5 for us.
Joey Chestnut's is 70 and a half, and ours is 5.5 for 10 minutes. We're not the same.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, no worries on that. We won't be at Coney Island next year with you on stage. There's no way. Ugh.
Oh man.
There's other things I can eat really quick, but hot dogs is not one of them.
No, not at all. Especially plain. I need ketchup or something on my hot dogs.
Yeah, and it's just plain hot dogs with buns dipped in water.
Yeah.
The way it goes down easier. Disgusting. Disgusting. But, yeah, so on that note, we'll end this episode right here, and we'll see you next week with our AFC West preview. And hopefully Riverside stays on the whole time.
Riverside, do better.
Yeah, be better now. Jeez. We will be. You need to be. All right? We'll see you all next week.
Later.